My fellow Americans, the city of Miami is only 200 miles or so from Havana. Countless thousands of Cubans have come to Miami on planes and makeshift rafts. Some with little but the shirt on their back and hope in their hearts. Today, Miami is often referred to as the capital of Latin America. But it is also a profoundly American city, a place that reminds us that ideals matter more than the color of our skin. Or the circumstances of our birth, a demonstration of what the Cuban people can achieve. And the openness of the United States to our family to the south. Todos somos Americanos. Change is hard in our own lives, and in the lives of nations. And change is even harder when we carry the heavy weight of history on our shoulders. But today we are making these changes because it is the right thing to do. Today, America chooses to cut loose the shackles of the past so as to reach for a better future for the Cuban people. For the American people, for our entire hemisphere, and for the world. Thank you. God bless you and God bless the United States of America. Barack Obama. Securing you. As cyber infrastructure. Delivered May 29, 2009, East Room, White House, Washington, D. C. We meet today at a transformational moment, a moment in history when our interconnected world presents us at once, with great promise but also great peril. Now, over the past 4 months my administration has taken decisive steps to seize the promise and confront these perils. We're working to recover from a global recession while laying a new foundation for lasting prosperity. We're strengthening our armed forces as they fight 2 wars. At the same time we're renewing American leadership to confront unconventional challenges. From nuclear proliferation to terrorism, from climate change to pandemic disease. And we're bringing to government and to this White House unprecedented transparency. And accountability and new ways for Americans to participate in their democracy. But none of this progress would be possible, and none of these 21st century challenges can be fully met without America's digital infrastructure, the backbone that underpins a prosperous economy and a strong military and an open and efficient government. Without that foundation we can't get the job done. It's long been said that the revolutions in communications and information technology have given birth to a virtual world. But make no mistake, this world cyberspace is a world that we depend on every single day. It's our hardware and our software, our desktops and laptops and cell phones. And BlackBerries that have become woven into every aspect of our lives. It's the broadband networks beneath us and the wireless signals around us. The local networks in our schools and hospitals and businesses, and the massive grids that power our nation. It's the classified military and intelligence networks that keep us safe. and the World Wide Web that has made us more interconnected than at any time in human history. So cyberspace is real. And so are the risks that come with it. It's the great irony of our information age, the very technologies that empower. Us to create and to build also empower those who would disrupt and destroy. And this paradox, seen and unseen, is something that we experience every day. It's about the privacy and the economic security of American families. We rely on the internet to pay our bills, to bank, to shop, to file our taxes. But we've had to learn a whole new vocabulary just to stay ahead of the cyber criminals who would do us harm. Spyware and malware and spoofing and phishing and botnets. Millions of Americans have been victimized, their privacy violated. Their identities stolen, their lives upended, and their wallets. Emptied. According to one survey, in the past 2 years alone, cybercrime has cost Americans more than $8 billion. I know how it feels to have privacy violated because it has happened to me and the people around me. It's no secret that my presidential campaign harnessed the internet and technology to transform our politics. What isn't widely known is that during the general election, hackers managed to penetrate our computer systems. To all of you who donated to our campaign, I want you to all rest assured, our fundraising website was untouched. So your confidential personal and financial information was protected. But between August and October, hackers gained access to emails and a range of campaign files. From policy position papers to travel plans. And we worked closely with the CIA, with the FBI and the Secret Service, and hired security consultants to restore. The security of our systems. It was a powerful reminder, in this information age, one of your greatest strengths. In our case, our ability to communicate to a wide range of supporters through the internet. Could also be one of your greatest vulnerabilities. This is a matter, as well, of America's economic competitiveness. The small businesswoman in St. Louis, the bond trader in the New York Stock Exchange. The workers at a global shipping company in Memphis, the young entrepreneur in Silicon Valley, they all need the networks to make the next payroll. The next trade, the next delivery, the next great breakthrough. E-commerce alone last year accounted for some $132 billion in retail sales. But every day we see waves of cyber thieves trolling for sensitive information. The disgruntled employee on the inside, the lone hacker 1,000 miles away. Organized crime, the industrial spy and, increasingly, foreign intelligence services. In one brazen act last year, thieves used stolen credit card information to steal millions of dollars from 130 ATM machines in 49 cities around the world, and they did it in just 30 minutes. A single employee of an American company was convicted of stealing intellectual property reportedly worth $400 million. It's been estimated that last year alone cybercriminals stole intellectual property from businesses worldwide worth up to $1 trillion. In short, America's economic prosperity in the 21st century will depend on cybersecurity. And this is also a matter of public safety and national security. We count on computer networks to deliver our oil and gas, our power, and our water. We rely on them for public transportation and air traffic control. Yet we know that cyber intruders have probed our electrical grid and that in other countries cyber attacks have plunged entire cities into darkness. Our technological advantage is a key to America's military dominance. But our defense and military networks are under constant attack. Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups have spoken of their desire to unleash a cyber attack on our country, attacks that are harder to detect and harder to defend against. Indeed. In today's world, acts of terror could come not only from a few extremists in suicide vests but from a few keystrokes on the computer, a weapon of mass disruption. In one of the most serious cyber incidents to date against our military networks, several thousand computers were infected last year by malicious software malware. And while no sensitive information was compromised, our troops and defense personnel had to give up. Those external memory devices, thumb drives, changing the way they use their computers every day. And last year we had a glimpse of the future face of war. As Russian tanks rolled into Georgia, cyber attacks crippled Georgian government websites. The terrorists that sowed so much death and destruction in Mumbai relied not only on guns and grenades but also on GPS and phones using voice over the internet. For all these reasons, it's now clear this cyber threat is one of the most serious economic and national security challenges we face as a nation. It's also clear that we're not as prepared as we should be, as a government or as a country. In recent years, some progress has been made at the federal level. But just as we failed in the past to invest in our physical infrastructure, our roads, our bridges and rails, we failed to invest in the security of our digital infrastructure. No single official oversees cybersecurity policy across the federal government. And no single agency has the responsibility or authority to match the scope and scale of the challenge. Indeed, when it comes to cybersecurity, federal agencies have overlapping missions and don't coordinate and communicate nearly as well as they should with each other or with the private sector. We saw this in the disorganized response to CONFICR. The internet worm that in recent months has infected millions of computers around the world. This status quo is no longer acceptable, not when there's so much at stake. We can and we must do better. And that's why shortly after taking office I directed my National Security Council and Homeland Security Council to conduct a top-to-bottom review of the federal government's efforts. To defend our information and communications infrastructure and to recommend the best way. to ensure that these networks are able to secure our networks as well as our prosperity.